Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're setting the stage for a massive paradigm shift in how we build, view, and interact with decentralized data systems. For the longest time, the conversation in Web3 has been totally obsessed with volume. It's all about how much data we can store, how fast we can process it, and how openly we can distribute it. But today, we're going to take a hard look at a groundbreaking approach that actually shifts the focus away from the sheer quantity of data and zooms in on the structural integrity of the data itself. First things first, we really need to establish the reality of the world we're living in right now. Raw blockchain data is absolutely everywhere. I mean, think about it for a second. Every single second, countless blocks are mined, complex smart contracts are firing off across dozens of networks, and millions of records are permanently etched into the ledger. We are literally swimming in a massive ocean of raw data. It's become this highly commoditized resource. But here's the critical realization we need to make. Having access to all of this ubiquitous data, that isn't the finish line. Honestly, it's barely even the starting line. Section 1. The raw data illusion. Okay, let's dive right into this. You see, it is so incredibly easy to fall into a false sense of security just because information is sitting publicly on a ledger. But visibility does not automatically equal validity. Take these three common tasks: collecting records, aggregating transactions, and building a database. A few years ago, pulling those three things off in a decentralized environment was a monumental technical achievement. But today, it's literally table stakes. Anyone can collect records from a blockchain. Anyone can aggregate those transactions, and pretty much anyone can spin up a database to house that raw info. These actions have become exceptionally easy, and they are definitely not the real challenges keeping Web3 developers up at night anymore. If your entire strategy relies on just doing these three things, well, you're really just hoarding data. You aren't creating reliable infrastructure. So if raw data is abundant, cheap, and easily manipulated, what's the actual missing ingredient here? What are system architects desperately struggling to secure? Section 2. The scarce resource. Confidence. Now, when we say confidence in this context, we aren't talking about some vague feeling or an optimistic gut instinct. Not at all. Confidence here is defined as a scarce, highly valuable resource. It's the absolutely critical utility you need to continuously evaluate which pieces of information actually deserve your trust. The real beast of a challenge in decentralized systems isn't gathering the data. It's building a system that can perform this trust evaluation nonstop. Without this specific resource, honestly, all you've got is cryptographic noise. But with it, you effectively transmute that raw, chaotic data into reliable, rock-solid infrastructure, the kind of foundation that complex applications can actually be safely built upon. Section 3. Kadata's Confidence Framework. This brings us to a specific, highly elegant solution designed to solve this incredibly hard challenge of evaluating trust in decentralized networks. And this brilliantly illustrates the underlying mechanics of how Kadata actually operates. By tracking specific network signals, Kadata makes confidence an active component of the data layer itself. They look at three main things. First up, contributor performance. The system is actively monitoring the historical reliability and the behavior of the entities providing the data. Second, validation patterns. Basically, how is the broader network agreeing on, corroborating, or even disputing this specific piece of information? And third, quality signals. These are the intrinsic markers and metadata that point directly to the data's validity. By synthesizing these three distinct signals across the entire network, Kadata does something amazing. It takes the abstract concept of trust and turns it into a rigorous, mathematical, and hyperactive layer of the technology stack. Section 4. Continuously evolving reliability. So let's see how this all builds into an entirely new paradigm for data engineers. The dynamic nature of this framework represents a massive leap forward from how we've traditionally handled data verification. Think about legacy systems. We often relied on a static score, right? Or maybe a one-time security review to verify a data source. But decentralized networks move way too fast for that. A one-time review is practically outdated the absolute second it gets published. Instead, true reliability in Web3 has to be an active component. It must be a continuously evolving measure of reliability. As new transactions happen, as contributor performance fluctuates, and as entirely new validation patterns emerge, the measure of trust has to adapt instantly. It's not a snapshot, it's a living, breathing metric that actively protects the integrity of the infrastructure day in and day out. I want to pause right here on this exact quote directly from the source material, because it really serves as the ultimate mic drop conclusion for everything we've unpacked today. Listen to this. Because data becomes infrastructure only when people can trust what's inside it. That right there is the core thesis. You could have the absolute fastest network, the largest storage capacity imaginable, and the most comprehensive aggregation tools in the entire world. But if the end users, the smart contracts, and the developers cannot implicitly trust the information flowing through those pipes, it's entirely useless. Trust isn't just some nice-to-have luxury feature, it is the absolute foundation of utility. Which leaves us with one final provocative question. Is your data built on trust? I really want to challenge you to evaluate the systems you interact with every day, or the platforms you're out there building. Are you simply hoarding a highly commoditized ocean of raw data, or are you actively securing that incredibly scarce resource of confidence required to build infrastructure that the world can actually rely on? It's a lot to think about, right? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning the systems around you, and as always, keep building with confidence.